give up and fall. Rise above the door, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, but now I know what I need to do. Can't stand right when it's blowing, pushing me down. Feels like I'm falling apart, yet I hold on. Head held high, can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again, again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. Oh na na, oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, but now I know what I need to do. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, but now I know what I need to do.
I'm not muted. Hey, how's it going? It's Monday. I shaved. Fuck the world. Fuck the world. Fight the power. Fight the power. Look, I shouldn't be doing a show today. I got shit to do. You got stuff to do. Superb Owl happened yesterday, and I probably won't bring it up again. So I thought I'd bring it up now. What I want to bring up is, first of all, welcome to the show. This is James True Live. You're watching James True Live. You should hit subscribe, hit like if you want, and don't use this show to measure me. Actually, we need more judgment in the world. Fuck it. Use this show to judge the shit out of me. Should you patronize? Is this something you should support? I don't know. You got to figure it out. But the volume's good. That's what I'm hoping. And yeah, everything seems to be good. But here's what I see. And a lot of people are upset. I'm one of them. Habeas corpus, kind of important to me. Not gonna lie. A lot of you guys are like, look, I didn't read Harry Potter. And I'm like, look, habeas corpus is it's not a Harry Potter move. It's not a Harry Potter move. I know that, you know what? It actually is. Fuck. This is why people have trouble following me. Okay. Technically, it is a Harry Potter move. But it was Harry Potter before Harry Potter came about, because all words are magic. You know this. And one of the words that kept me feeling kind of good about living with all you is habeas corpus. And I thought that we only suspended this when it was like really, really crucial, like when they're slaves. If they're slaves, in order to end the slavery, we have to put other people in bondage. This is the thinking. We're going to end slavery, so we're going to put you guys in bondage. And it's not slaves because you're going to pay us money. You're going to pay us taxes, which means you're not a slave. This means you're a free man. You get to pay us to prove that you're not a slave. If you were a slave, you wouldn't be paying us. If you were a slave, fuck, we'd have to feed you. Government's like, hey guys, I think your problem with us, meaning you the people, you're mad at government because you want us to like feed you and stuff. And we're not going to do that. Hocus pocus, habeas corpus. You're not a slave. And here's a bill. You owe us money because you're not a slave. You're free. Look at how free you are. You are a pig with an apple in your mouth. Who cares if you've been roasted in an oven? Look how free you are. You wouldn't freely bite that apple. And come on, it's an apple. You just blame a chick. Just blame feminism. That'll do it. Declare war on Harvard. That'll fix it. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War. Fucking A, man. Declared war on Harvard last week. I don't even know if you guys caught that, but he basically is like, fuck Harvard. He said that out loud. And I'm bringing this up because all of this stuff, you could say that it's fake and go home and feel good about yourself. I encourage you to. Or if you wanted to stay, you would actually hear that it's not, theater isn't fake. Theater is very well practiced. It's not theater, it's ritual. It's so well practiced that it would be impossible for there to be any conscious thought. You're only going to see unconscious theater. If you want to understand the chandelier of this reality, I think you need to consider that it's not fake, it's a prism. And it prism. A lot of people confuse that for prison. That's fine. Oh, I feel better because we're living in a prison planet. I'm squeezing my nipples because life ain't so bad because we've discovered that our nipples are being squeezed. That's a good tactic, man. That fucking gets you far. So don't let me end that. But prison planet. It's not theater, it's ritual. Do you see the difference? It's so much more important than fake. It's so much more important than that. And it happens unconsciously, subconsciously. It percolates. Archetypalism percolates, and you end up seeing what's happening in front of you. I'll just give you an example. I guarantee you that the most loyal merry pranksters that are controlling the world did not have to do what I'm about to tell you about. Epstein Island. Island's a rock. Rocks floating in the ocean. We call it a rock. It's there's literally a movie with Sean Connery about it. It's Alcatraz is an island. So an island is a rock. And pedophilia is the sexual exploitation of children under the auspice that they have a fully developed consensual psychology. So you've got pedophile island. You've got a pedo island. And pedo is a child. One could call a child a kid. A lot of people are like, hey, these are my kids. These things over there, those aren't goats. Those are my kids. Okay? And you all know, if you entered the truth movement through the same parking lot that I did, that the first thing you learned when you're walking through the parking lot is you're supposed to hate goats. If you're going to be in the truth movement, you got to fucking hate goats. You got to hate the shit out of goats. Goats are Satan. And if you stare a goat in the eye for more than 4 seconds, you're going to be one of them. You're going to be one of them, okay? Despite all that, the good guys, they do call their kids goats, even though you've heard otherwise. It's confusing because it's a curtain. And the curtain is it's kind of like when you go to Disney and you want to ride a line. Space Mountain you're going to spend a lot of time waiting for Space Mountain. That anticipation, that's the ride. All the juice comes from there. And when you start to understand this is not fake, it's theater. And it's not just theater, it's ritual. And America speaks to you through these archetypes. I think you're going to have a better time. So what does it have to do with Kid Rock? Think about it. Pedo Island, Kid Rock. Pedo and Kid, Rockin' Island. Now, you've got a halftime show where they're like, first of all, the dudes that are rounding up immigrants have a Superb Owl flies in. It's like, hey, fuckers, I'm going to give you a halftime show, and no one's going to speak English. Now, many of you are like, yes, they did that to mind control us. And yeah, all that's true. All that's true. Everything is true. Every single thing is true because we're living in a cosmological pool, and you're gonna do well with that. So think that. However, they could be some sort of other hierarchical, omniscient, omnipresent omnivore. I think we're gonna be eaten. I think we're here to grow consciousness. And all the chickens that I've eaten in my world are going to come home to roost. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be swallowed by a giant time snake. And I'm going to pay for all the slaughter that I've done. And I want to taste good because I have tasted some good chickens. I ate an egg. I ate a chicken butt fruit today. I had a chicken apple. An egg is a chicken apple. They distribute fruit through their butt, and I crack open the egg and cook it. I peel it and I cook it. I know I want to be digested as well as I just digested these other things. This is how I navigate the world. So I don't know why everyone's getting all upset about, oh, this giant time snake going to digest us. I don't know why this is hard to imagine. I really don't. Because the symbolism is everywhere. And if you're scrolling through social media, all of the symbolism is negative. There's a lot of negative symbolism around. Everything's satanic. Everything's goats. Everything's blind. Everyone's asleep except for you. But you're the only one who's not asleep. And there's a sheep. And there's a goat. And more Satan. And I'm proud of you. Down here in the bilge pump, whole ship's pooping on you, and you're running the whole show. You're keeping the keel full of lead, just that heavy weight you feel. It's buoyancy, my friends. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. But there's a crow's nest. There's a thunderbird here, and not only do we have a halftime show where it opened in corn, guys. How many times have we discussed Quetzalcoatl here, the corn dog god? Some of you probably think I said corn dog god. It's not. I didn't say corn dog god. And that the corn dog god, Quetzalcoatl, if you threw set, see a corn dog in ancient Aztec would be a Quetzalcoatl Yeah, a Quetzalcoatl would be a corn dog in ancient Aztec. You're welcome. You've heard it here first. But the symbolism here is not just as Kid Rock doing an alternative halftime show in opposition to a halftime show that has it opens with corn. It's nothing but immigrants. And honestly, it's the first time I've ever seen anyone represent the idea that America is like made up of a bunch of fucking countries. And a lot of them are fucking Mexican. And they sell shaved ice. It was literally like, yeah, and I sell watches on the fucking street. And oranges. I've told you the perils of us allowing a civilization where free range humans are allowed to offer you oranges on the side of the road for money. Like, oh, we can't fucking have that. We got to stop them. You can't have wandering people in pickup trucks saying, hey, can I pick up that scrap metal that you don't want there anymore? Can I help you get that out? We can't fucking have that. We need a halftime show that draws attention away from the fact that it was like a pedo island going on. So we're going to have a Kid Rock instead. This is archetype. You have the Patriots, one of the teams. Think about the archetypes of the Super Bowl. You've got the Patriots battling the Seahawks. Seahawks a fucking Thunderbird. It's a giant Thunderbird. Did you know that the largest flying animal that we've ever found fossils for is called the Quetzalcoatl? Plumed snake. We like to think that all of our ancient reptiles didn't have feathers, but a lot of them did. A lot of them did. And I think Quetzalcoatl is such an important symbol, not just for the fact you're being digested by a giant time snake. That's my idea. A lot of you guys might be sort of like that sort of, I don't really like to think that way. That's fine. I get it. Vegetarians, you're fucked because you're just like, Jesus, I've been eating quinoa and fucking kale this whole time. And now I'm going to eat. And I want you to know, you're going to taste horrible. Okay. I hope that this feels better. You're going to taste horrible. The time snake's going to be like, cilantro. He's going to think you taste like cilantro. And you're going to be insulted because you're like, why do you not like cilantro? And then you're going to find out Quetzalcoatl has a very low developed palate. He can't distinguish between the smell of bleach and cilantro. Those two things register the exact same neurological frequency. And now you're offended because you spent all this time wandering around pooping beans, being all proud of yourself. So ask yourself, do you want to be digested by the giant time snake or not? Do you want to? Because if you do, you could freaking eat some chicken apples. You could do that. You could stop eating tomatoes. I don't, is there anyone else who's declared a war on tomatoes? It's me. Is that fair? I don't know. But as fucked up as things have been, you saw a Seahawk overpower a Patriot in the middle of a halftime game in which the president spent most of that time just bitching about it, just complaining, really unhappy about it. Then you got this alternative halftime show, sort of the Israeli version of the halftime show. And then you got the only person you could find that would make sense is Kid Rock. And Kid Rock's singing a cover song about Jesus that he didn't even write. Everyone's like, I'm really touched by Kid Rock's words. And they're not even his words. This is not a place to be discouraged. This is a place to recognize this is not theater. It's not ritual. This is archetype. You're watching the archetypes. And when you think more about the, fuck yeah, man. Thank you, Soulless44. Fuck yeah, I'm not alone. Man, tomatoes. All right. You know, we'll go easy. We'll go easy. Let's start a tomato lobby. Let's give one lobbyist $1 billion. He'll collect all the other tomato lobbyists. And no, let's get back to this. When you're looking at the collective, the inflammation that's stopping you the most, I think, in the truth movement is your insistence that everything is controlled perfectly by a conscious human. I think that's what's stopping your magic, my friends. I think that if you're insisting that there's a cabal that controls these things, I think you're missing out on just the true nature of what the jungle is. Because technically, pedophiles are so fucking jungle. Like, I cannot think of anything more naturally jungle than that. Historically, we have had giants, beasts that we call giants, menacing people with demented frontal lobes, retarded frontal lobes, living alone, gathering their gnosis, their collective gnosis, their gold, their treasures, literal trolls. The legend is real. And the trolls steal children from you and do horrible things to them. And that this is the oldest part of the jungle that's ever been here. Many of us were grown up in a ranch in which none of these things are supposed to be happening. And if anything, it's that Family Ties, 8 is Enough kind of that television show sitcom version of what reality is, where for God's sake, you've got a homeowners association. You've got a dude saying, we're watching you. And that's all it takes. That just a sign that says Crime Watch, or just a sign that says bring security in your yard, and you're instantly out of the jungle. Instantly. And every time you see a street light, that means there would be no such thing as pedophiles because there's a street light here. That's what it means. That's what a stop sign means. A stop sign means, you see, who in the fuck would do this to kids and they'd be running stop signs, and no one's running stop signs. And this is part of the psychology that makes America work. This is the oldest fertile grounds in the history of the world where naivete is grown as a crop. Naivete is grown as a crop in America since its founding. Mixcoatl pulled if you rip open someone's chest and you look at their ribs, you're going to see red and white stripes. You're going to see a white cartilage slipped, which is their bone. Then you're going to see a chunk of red, the muscle. And you're going to see a white strip, and you're going to see a chunk of red. You're going to see a white strip, you're going to see a chunk of red. And you as the Aztec priest, you as the shaman entering into an animistic state of, I don't want to fucking pay my taxes, so I'm going to put on war paint, and I'm going to go fucking kill some people. You are servicing America. You are creating a government that allows people to believe that you do not exist. And you start to realize that all of these people value the illusion so much more than they value what's actually happening. It's the illusion. It's the look. If you were a slave, I'd have to feed you. But no, you have to feed me. You got to pay me, which means you're free. Look how free you are. You're so free, I'm going to hold this gun to your head and say, you got to pay me money every year. And you got to come up with a number. I'm going to fucking make you tell me you want it. Tell me you want it. This is some sicko shit, man. This is some sicko shit. And the sicko shit is there to tell you that this is really what people prefer. The superb owl is really what people prefer. Now, you could say that, well, they're trying to penetrate and pin the country one side against the other. And it's like, I don't know how you think government has ever worked, but that's literally been the way this is the only way you do shit. It starts with you wandering through the city and you're like, hey, that boat out there, they stole my kid. Those guys are pirates. We can't have pirates here. What do we do? It's as old as that. Our need to insist that we covet the jungle, but we do not live in the jungle. This is a special kind of hell. And it's honestly a blessing. It's a blessing because it allows you to eat chicken apples. It allows you to digest food. It allows you to relax. It allows you to live in the herd. This is what it means to live in a herd. You've seen how herds work. There's not like a cohesive ideology there. You would simply notice that actually a lot of the herd doesn't give a shit about each other. They don't even know each other's names. Ask a gazelle what the name of the last gazelle it just looked at was. Ask it. I'll wait. Go ahead. Is there a gazelle in the chat? Let me know. It's probably trying to type right now. This simpler psychology of the herd is going to give you more compassion into what people are. And I think when you start to understand that most people they're never even going to know that you're an individual. This is not an insult to people. It's a clarification of nature. It's showing you that every flock, herd, gaggle, conundrum, pilot, cathorthus, all the other words that mean a collection of animals, right? A parliament, a murder, a Fukushima, I think that's like a collection of radioactive fish. You have this collection of things, and the humans are the same way because culture itself is just a herd. It's a herd, and this is natural. And you can like nature. You can like nature because nature brought your ass here. It's easy to like nature. It's harder to like what nature makes. Isn't that weird? We tell ourselves it was this, but not this. It was that, but not that. And then you've got this idea that there's people controlling the world, and the people that are controlling the world are you. It's people like you, and all your beliefs are collectively fawned together in this thing. And you know, when Miami Herald first came out with the story of Epstein, it was probably like 2017. It was probably earlier. It was really all it took to could have just arrested that guy. It would have been over. And you've watched a culture through the magic of Jim Acosta, the Attorney General of Florida, then the magic of the next Attorney General, right? Pam Bondi, excuse me, she was the AG of Florida. You have this collection of people that really aren't conscious. And that those people are the ones that tend to flock to holding positions of power, and that these are just predators. There's so much energy lost in us insisting that government's supposed to be good. There's nothing at all about nature that would tell you that you're going to find safety among your predator. You're going to find predictability. If you give all your loyalty to the lion, you technically have no other predators to worry about. You actually start to feel better because as long as you can see the lion, as long as the lion is not taller than this size, because that means he's at least this far away. This is the early mind. You see this when you're told if a bear comes at you and you want to seem taller, or if someone scares you, a dog comes at you, you put a tree on the back of your head. Now it looks like you're taller. That it's the exact same math, but on a human level, it's just doing this. You end up having to turn your compass a lot because you're trying to find truth. But first you find this congealed, petrified herd that takes the collective and insists that what the collective thinks is true. And you realize that's not true. And then you find the outliers. You look for the black sheep, the conspiracy theorists. And I don't know of how many people actually go further, because if you gather around them and you compassionate them too, you realize that these guys are terrified of everything. They're afraid of fruit. They're afraid of anything in the jungle because they think the jungle itself is bad. So on one hand, you've got this sort of petrified apathy, but then on the other hand, you kind of have a petrified fear-mongering. And both of them are herds that find comfort in each other's brethrenship. So neither of them are the truth. They're just heard. They're just things I heard. This is the power of rumor, is just showing you this concept of being heard. There's this other place when you can, I think you have to not really worry about your mortality, honestly. I think there's something magic in understanding you're going to be swallowed by a time snake that is going to eat you. And I think if you can find a way to say, I want that to taste good, I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but it's like the crow's nest of both these herds. Maybe it is the giraffe posture, but you're able to see what's happening on the ground and just approach it as an observer. You're a witness to it. And you're just watching Mutual of Omaha. Really, you're just watching Wild Kingdom. And even though there are times when you're going to root for the little guy, and then there's times you're going to root for the big guy. You're going to root for a clean kill. You're not going to understand why. Why am I rooting for a clean kill? Shouldn't I be rooting for the end of all killing? And those are people that hate nature. And then, well, shouldn't I feel guilty for killing? And those are people that are really entrenched in nature. They're saturated by what's happening around them, all the energy that's happening around you. Why was the Oracle so popular for 1,000 years? I think the answer is the Super Bowl. I think that if you could see the Super Bowl and just make those little synchronicity connections between Kid Rock and Pedo Island and you, the chuckling that you do at that, you would have to chuckle because you truly are marveled by nature itself, the intricate complexity of it all, its ability to camouflage, its ability to manipulate, its ability to farm giant collections of fish with nothing more than bubbles blown in a circle. And those bubbles blown in a circle, you don't even need teeth to eat all that. You're just tapping into the vortex math of this place. It's kind of like an awareness. You've stepped outside of yourself, but you're still present because you're just not nearly as terrified. I try and imagine what it would be like to have a primitive mind and see a giant reptile fly over my head, or to watch some large beast take my infant and just devour it, and to witness what would be this horrible event as you're not even really able to survive in the psyche. That if you just look at the trauma that you and I might encourage now, just with our injustice, it's so off the charts how much injustice would be in the animal world. And I don't know that underneath that animistic state, if we would even be capable of having these kind of emotions. The idea of feeling guilt is such a luxury of the illusion that we've created inside the fort. And maybe we're losing calories because we know it's an illusion, but we feel guilty, when instead we should be thinking, hey, you know what? My mud hut has always been petrified belief. It's always been this insistence that if I put enough sticks up, the big bad wolf's not going to eat me. If you think about it, you building that hut with sticks, what you're really doing is just saying, the big bad wolf is going to eat someone. I want to be the most difficult to eat. And so this isn't really necessarily a communal desire. You building a house out of sticks, or first straw, then sticks, then bricks. Not once did it occur to the pig to say, I think we should stand up to the fucking wolf. There's 3 of us. We're going to each build our own house. None of them are going to be adequate. And never, not once, are we going to actually look at the problem itself. What is the problem? We are collectively fine as long as our house is stronger than the next person's. This is not an immune system. This is a fractional banking survivalism. And I think it comes with a certain shame to be able to admit that that's what's happening, but also it comes with a certain bit of, look how clever we are. Look how clever we are that we've invented insurance and we've invented laws. And if we could marvel in that, we might be able to understand the folly of expecting government to work. The Thunderbird would tell you that you're going to want to take the most evil person in this land and put him in charge. And Hiawatha is going to come to every nation and sit down and tell you, I have a message of peace. What's your message of peace? I want you to nominate the most evil psychopath that you have in your village Nominate him for what? I want you to nominate him to come to the land of the swamp. And you're going to tell him that he's an ambassador of greatness. And each nation would see Hiawatha's message and say, wait, you want us to take the dude that we think is like the fucking worst problem to our society and tell him that he's been given a reward and he just has to go to the swamp over there to collect his reward? And Hiawatha says, yeah. Yeah, that's all you got to do. And the nations consoled on this. The elders consoled on this. They smoked the peace pipe. They really chuckled at this. They chuckled at this idea because Hiawatha had brought them something that no one had ever brought before. He brought this trap that no one had ever seen. And that this trap would only work on Konotakarius. It would only work on the ones that wanted to burn the village down. It would only work on the ones that had snakes in their hair. We will find the ones that want to be menacing, and we want to send them to the Olympics of menacing. And if all of us, all of our nations, asked Hiawatha, if all of you would send your evilists to this place, they all could compete for the worst of them all. And the worst of them all could then be in charge of all of those people. And this is the oldest Greek technology in the world. We've spoken about this word. I've tried to say it less because we covered it so much. It was just so obvious. But this scapegoatism, this pharmakos, this medicine where we will take the ugliest among us, we will lay our hands on this ugly person and say, you are responsible for all the things that happened to me. And then that person is led out of the village and ceremonially disappeared. Swims with the fishes, as they say. And you knowing that he died, you knowing that something's paid for these sins, gives you not just permission, but it makes it rude for you to disrespect his service and complain. Because you would have to, the second you would try and complain about society, someone would tell you, hey, you should say thank you for your service because we sacrificed someone innocent, so you'd stop complaining. That's just how Greece was built. It's how Rome was built. We find an opportunity. That's how Mesoamerica was built. We're going to find one of us. We're going to say, you are the fire god. And for the next year, you get to do whatever you want. I mean, like whatever you want. You have full pardon of yourself. You can pardon yourself for the next year. You can walk around the village. You're our president, they would say. Think about this. Templo Mayor. The biggest jerk you could find. An elder comes up to him and says, we want to make you president. And he's like, well, shit, that sounds good. What does it mean? You get to eat whatever you want. You get to go wherever you want. Keep in mind, this dude's a bully, so he already gets to eat whatever he wants. He already gets to go wherever he wants. Do you understand? He's already doing those things. He's already breaking the law. And what do the elders do? They say, we want to honor you. And you may be like, this is madness. You can't do that. We don't want to honor that. That would encourage the very thing we're trying to stop. And no, it wouldn't. This is William James. This is pragmatism. This is actually what would help. For the first time, this would help. But we would debase ourselves. We'd be honoring someone that does not deserve to be honored. James, we would become him by doing these things. And Hiawatha says, we won't forget. Hiawatha says, who would forget? Who would not be able to look at this system? Hiawatha said, I guarantee you, if you do this now, in 500 years, the whitest Wetiko-ass redneck you could find, who's wasn't even a native of this country, will be doing a live stream where he's explaining how this was probably one of the most brilliant inventions ever made because it was the emergence of the deceptive ego to fight predator. A tool that the prey had for the very first time to defend themselves inside a jaguar psychopathic world, and it required lies. It required deception. That the fantasy of deception, the very same fantasy that built the walls around this fort that we got a border, we have 100-mile thick fucking border now, and we're too naive to realize what's happening. That all the private property within 100 miles of the border of the United States is no longer private property anymore. It is under a different jurisdiction. It is under a Sam's Club. A country club security guard runs that swath, the most valuable real estate in the nation. And it comes down to, we are not willing to deceive, because if we were to deceive, we would have to admit that we've been deceiving ourselves the entire time. Hiawatha is famous because he was able to bring this message of peace. That's all it says. He has a message of peace. And when I hear this story, I picture Hiawatha. No one knows him. He's not from your nation. And he's coming to your nation as a complete stranger. And the only way that someone like that would be able to bring that much clout, honestly, is to carry an idea that is so vorpally powerful, so transmagnanimously paradigm shifting, that the elder would be so blown away by it that he would go, holy fuck, what an idea this is. I want to send you, Hiawatha, with this. This is our tribal wampum that shows that we are with you in your pocket. As you move to the next nation, show this to them and tell the chief that Ronco, because I'm the Italian chief of the Wanabagos, says, tell Ronco that I got his card last season, and I hope his wife's doing okay. And Hiawatha is spreading this idea, this plan of peace. And every time he leaves the village, all the elders are like, who are we going to fucking pick? And the tribe of New York, the plain of Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, where reeds are grown to hunt deer, full of some of the worst people you could imagine. And every year they pick their worst, don't they? What is Cuomo? Cuomo, you get to wander around the village, dress like a ceremonial leader. We treat you like a god. You can have sex with our children. You can molest our young ladies. You can participate in any kind of illegal activity that you want. You can bribe the city, whatever it takes. But we're going to sacrifice you at the end. That's all. We're just going to sacrifice you at the end. And the land got so soft that people were like, I don't want to sacrifice that. People were like, well, I have too much morality to do that. And we call that lack of morality strength. And I'm just not sure if that's it, because it's awfully convenient. How many times everything gets to be fake? And like when habeas corpus ends, the people that I'm thinking are on my side are saying that's fake, and that I'm falling for this because I'm being concerned about this power of these words, because I'm noticing what Hiawatha brings, and people seem to have misunderstood. They've fallen in love with Snakes in Hair. They think that Snakes in Hair is supposed to be the good guy. Holy fuck, Hiawatha, these guys are emulating Snakes in Hair. They want to be Snakes in Hair. And you know what Hiawatha says? This blows me away. He's like, yeah, it's supposed to do that too. You don't have enough faith in this jungle, James, would say Hiawatha. He's the Pied Piper. Snakes and Hair builds a coalition, and everyone who follows that coalition drowns in the river. You were expecting all this to work instantly, and it doesn't. You're looking at the natural process. This is a season. The soil is constantly fertilizing itself. It will go through these periods. The Thunderbird will emerge always. The thank you for your service. How many times has that been turned into a foolish thing to say? I've lost count. And we've been doing this since Vietnam. We've had a scrupulous look at our own military actions since Vietnam. That's well over 50 years. Maybe not well over, but it's close enough. It is so, we've had so long to look at how this system works. And I don't hear another voice telling you, hey, I think Hiawatha was fucking right about this. Because if all of us were to change our paradigm about how we actually view what this swamp was, I think that the more fun we had with it, the more we would regulate the rest of the herd, and the more the rest of the herd would start to take this seriously. I mean this in a non-fabricated, collective way of thank you for your service, where people would start to see through the facade that even the Epstein didn't kill himself. I think I was probably one of the first a long time ago that was saying, look, this temple is a utility building. These arches aren't real. They're painted on. There's a fake lock. That door is not a wooden door. How can you guys not see this? Like, seriously, why does this have all the trappings? Why is there a submarine door, pedophile, billionaire, all the stars are there, everyone famous is there? Why is all this happening? And I think the answer is more in the soil. I don't think you understand how incredibly on your side the universe really is. I don't know if anyone's told you that this year. This entire system is on your side. I swear to you, it's on your side right now. It's doing, if you were to climb up into the crow's nest and watch what's happening, you would want it to do exactly what it's doing now. You would be hoping, like I am, that people will just remember what Hiawatha actually said. And the urgency wouldn't be, I have to tell them. The urgency would be, this is the grand experiment. And the people that are being enchanted by the bell ringers, by the witchfinder generals, by the let's Pied Piper someone else, those people simply would have emerged next. That those are snakes and hair too, because they're all worshiping each other, because you and I see how the nature works. We understand those are species now. We understand that. We understand it so well, and we are so powerful that we do not have to commit extinction. We would instead rather give them a territory purposely made in a swamp so that anyone would know you want this to be the home of mosquitoes. You want this to be the home of some of the blackest, dirtiest water that no one who's seeking clean drinking water would ever think to live. Every single symbol is there. Every single thing is there telling you this is how it works. And honestly, it's going so well. The universe has been conspiring this whole fucking time. And it's on your side. And I know I give you a hard time about saying stop calling yourself white people, but you got to stop, man. When you start to see yourself as indigenous, I swear all this just, the shackles fall off because you realize, holy fuck, man. This is so much more profound than I thought. There's not a damn thing about this screwed up in the world. This is some of the most intense magic I've ever seen. And when I look back at Templo Mayor and I see the red and the blue temple, it's all right there. This presupposed any cabal. This is a natural function of Mixcoatl, the oldest Uncle Sam in the world. It's good stuff. The snakes were the victims. The snakes are the victims, I'd say, Dane Hud. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also saying the snakes are the victims. And there's something about having that archetype of the snake that you can epigenetically go through, and that we should allow that avenue to exist too. All these places are going to need exercise. They're not going to need the lack of exercise. It's a good thing that's happening. And when I watch the Suburbao, when I watch all the symbolism that comes up, it you could not ask for a better cue. Watching people go, hey, those guys aren't speaking English. That's good medicine right now. That is really good medicine. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but the reason why the migrants are being round up is because they're the most dangerous, because they're not necessarily clued in as much to our culture or our language. They're not as invested as we are in that. Their roots have a home. And I think that the children of America need to dig their feet in. It's like Billie Eilish said last week. It's so fitting that she got a pushback from this, because she was like, you're living on stolen land. You're not living on stolen land. You were fucking born. You were born. And if you were born here, you were born here because you're a fucking native. You're not white. You're Native American. By definition, if you were born here, you were a Native American. And that's pre-law. And do you know how you're Native American? Because the Native Americans tell you you're not. They would be the only ones that could initiate proper Native Americans. They would have to make you feel like you do not belong to. And they would be the only ones that have the sacred medicine as red people to bestow you as a Native American. And so what do? They put you through a gauntlet when you're born. They said, you're not allowed to walk the red road, James. The red road is not for you, James. And that this is the Hermetic initiation. This is the veil. You see the veil guarded by a red man, and there's the test. There's the Sethian test. The ostrich feather asks, if you're really worthy, then this would be the only thing that you'd need to prove it. This literally would be the only thing that we could do to initiate. And we can't have everyone in here as Native Americans. We can't. Why? Because there's a herd out there that's insisting that all of this is real. And that their snakes and hair is the best snakes and hair that's ever been, because he's going to make snakes and hair great again. You don't want them. Those people aren't in your tribe. You've been tapped on the shoulder at night when everyone else is asleep. You've been pulled out of that buffalo blanket, brought outside under the stars. It's cold and it's shivering. But you recognize a few faces. And you're like, holy shit, what are we getting ready to do? And people you've never seen are putting paint on your face. And you guys are going to go run for a while. And when you come back, you're not going to tell anyone else what you saw here. It's why we have such a small channel. You're not going to give it away. You can't spoil this, guys. It is too important. It's too important. And I'm counting on you. Thanks for watching, James True. Hope you enjoyed today. Think about what I said. Look into Hiawatha. We'll see you next time. Take care.